Hello, I'm Jenna. This is the Stamper's Mess. Sorry I'm a little late, more technical issues. I think I'm going to tear my hair out with this Wi-Fi connection issue, but it's sorted, I hope, and if there's anyone there, let me know. If you're not, it's because I'm late and it's my fault. Anyway, today I want to share with you my customer rewards card kit for May. Because we're almost at the start of May already, we've got a brand new catalogue coming, and so I want to show you what you can get if you order from me in May. So that's with any orders over $50, you get a free card kit. So you get a 1 card kit. And if you use the host code, you get a 4 card kit. But don't use the host code if your order is over $250 because you get the host benefits for yourself that way. If you use the host code, then those host benefits are going towards buying all the products that you're getting in your kits. Hope that makes sense. So the May kit is with the sweet Songbird bundle, or at least the punch. So the Songbird Builder Punch. Hi Judith, thank you for bearing with me. Finally made it here. So I'm going to take you down to my desk. I'm going to show you some of the products now. So what we have is the Songbird Builder Punch. So this is this one here. Try and get it in the right spot. So this builds, probably looks a bit better this way. The bird, an extra layer for his belly, or another wing, a wing and a beak, and it just gives you a few things that you can work with. Now that's what I've got for the kit, but it actually is part of a combination, so you can also get the stamps and the punch. So the punch works nicely on its own, but it works even better if you have the stamp set, and you can see you can cut out all those extra things as well. So just showing you something I've made with that combination of the punch and the stamps. So that's a sweet Songbird bundle. Also in this kit is some papers from the Hello Irresistible papers set. So what we're using is the kind of greeny tones, so papers down this end of the scale. But the actual papers, they go all the way through to blues, yellows, pinks, lots of colours. So it's kind of Lost Lagoon, Pretty Peacock, Petal Pink, and I think Daffodil Delight in there. So there's a few different colours, and it just gives you this spread. So we're working with the ones down this end of the scale. So you'll get a sampling of one of these papers. And we're also using another punch, which I think, oh no, I've lost the name of it. It's a circle punch, decorative circle, perhaps. Sorry, I've completely gone blank on the name of that one. But now I'll show you the pieces in the kit. So this one has, oh, I've got to carry them a little carefully because I've got lots of punched out pieces. So this one has 3 sets of punched pieces in Soft Sea Foam, in Pretty Peacock, and in Lost Lagoon. And so I've just kind of put the pieces in, and you can see how you can do different combinations of the colours. You could do them all in one colour, or you could have variations of the colours. And I'm also going to give you a couple of extra little beaks in yellow if you would rather use a yellow beak on your project. So that's just some of the pieces. So that's the punched pieces that you're going to get. You're also going to get 2 pieces, one in Pretty Peacock and one in Basic White from that decorative circle. You're going to get this piece here, this background piece in Basic White. Your card base is Lost Lagoon. I'm going to give you 2 strips of Pretty Peacock to highlight the papers, and then you'll get 1 strip of paper. So you'll get a strip of paper like that, or it could be one of these patterns here, and you can use the flip sides as well because they're really decorative pieces and you can use them for all sorts of things. So you'll get 1 of those in a 1 card kit, and you'll get 1 of each in a 4 card kit, or thereabouts. This is an array of them. There might be a couple of extra patterns mixed in with those. But in that same colour group. So it's just this one that has kind of those yellow tones, and that's where you might want to bring in the yellow beak, but some people prefer the yellow beak anyway. So I'm going to move these out of the way, and I'm going to show you some of the ways that you can put the pieces together. So let me just move this. So what you really want to know is putting the birds together. So I've made a few birds, and all I've done is I've used a black marker to just add eyes, and you can add eyes in different ways. You can put them together in different combinations of colours. It's up to you. You can also flip them over. So those pieces that I cut from the punch, they can go this way or they can go that way. It's up to you. So you can, and all those pieces do that, so you can have birds going in different directions. And I've done a few different faces there. I don't know how well you can see. Those are just simple eyes, and I put the beak up close. And this one is kind of more detailed eyes, and the beak's slightly different, and again just slightly different. So you can just play around. You can give them character. You can give them character by the wing position and the face on how you do it. So when you put these together for a card, you can just start with your card base that's there, and then you'll have your strip of paper. So whichever strip of paper that you happen to be working with, and you have your pieces of Pretty Peacock cardstock as well. So I've given you in pieces. There's a reason I give you these little strips. It's not only does it save some cardstock, and it shows you how you can save some cardstock, but it also gives you a lot more flexibility. If I'd given you a strip that was a distance wide, then that's how wide you can make it. Whereas these ones, you can choose to make that Pretty Peacock layer a really wide layer or a really narrow layer, and you can work with what suits you, and you can play around with that. So I'm going to move all of that over a bit, and in fact I'm going to take one of those out, and we're going to go all the way to this side. So then you can put your little birdie straight on there, but remember we also have those layering circles, so you could do just the one bird on there like that, and then you've got some pieces for some extra birds. You can put one on the inside. You can play around with that. If we move this over and put the other strip in and make it a little bit wider, we can also use this one here as a little shadow piece going behind that one. It's actually not symmetrical, so you can turn it around a few times. I won't bore you with trying to find the edge where it's, in fact I think I can see it, so I'm just going to turn it slightly. So now you have that kind of shadow on there. When you move your bird over a little bit, then you've got plenty of space there. We can move him up and give space for a greeting. So remember you had that big white panel. You can cut that one down to something that looks more like this, a smaller piece for the inside, and then you've got some strips like that. So then you can add a greeting that goes over the bottom, however you would like to do that. You can also cut some strips from this one if you don't want to use it, and you can actually use the white layers instead of the Pretty Peacock. So this particular piece of paper has some nice white details in it. Some of the other papers don't have those white details, but if you're working with the white one, then you can add some extra strips of white and do it that way. And in fact you can play around with the background that you use, or you can still do it with that pattern and just adding more white on there, or you can actually do both. You can add white, pop that off, add white and Pretty Peacock to that layer there. So you've got that, and you can go the other way as well. Some of the patterns do lean themselves more towards being a vertical one. It doesn't look as good horizontal, but the other side will work fine. So you could have this one here, and then you can pop your bird over there. You can actually stamp down here if you want, or again you've got that piece there to add the greeting on. Or you could not use these pieces at all. Let's go get rid of the whites. We'll go to this piece. And you can, in fact I'm going to go over here. You can add this piece, and you can do multiple birds on the same card, and you can have them singing away like that. Or if you want to feature one of them, you can pop them up on one and have the others kind of leaning towards that. You can also turn it round, go all the way down to the bottom with that strip, and you can have the birds kind of sitting. It doesn't look so good with the Lost Lagoon one, so this is where I would sit them on here. But when the bird is primarily Lost Lagoon, it kind of disappears into the card. So that's where you'd want to have that white base, but it doesn't look so good to have a white base. In fact, let's try something. Let's try this one with this one, so you can have the two of them talking to each other, or you can just take those background pieces out and have these two birdies. Perhaps you'd want to have it flipped the other way, if we, on the Lost Lagoon one, have this seafoam one flipped so it's looking at it. Or you can just have them kind of staggered like that, and then when you have your greeting up here, they're looking at what you're saying. Now what I also wanted to show you with all of these pieces is that with the bird pieces, this is how I've put mine together, using the this large piece here as the kind of underbelly, and then and then the small piece as the wing, and then I've drawn on there, I've added a little beak, and I've drawn eyes, and you can choose where your beak goes. So you can see putting it out this way a little bit kind of turns its head a bit more, so it's looking further away. But you can also use this one as a wing and have nothing underneath, and you can put the little beak underneath and do a single eye, and that's what I've done here with this one. So it's just a different look that you can put together with the bird. So similar pieces, but I've made it a bigger wing and I've put it to the side. But you might also notice that I've sponged the edges of that. So that's just using a sponge dauber. Now I've used the Lost Lagoon ink, which is the matching ink for this cardstock, but you could get away with it with any kind of like a navy ink, as long as you were fairly light with your touch. So you just hold it in the air and just add a little bit. And so I do this when I first dipped it in the ink because it's the darkest part, and I go around until the ink starts to fade away. And then when it's starting to fade away a bit, then you can come more on the top, and you can see that you get that build up of colour, which gives that roundness to the shape. So again, I've just inked it. Like, I'll turn it over. If I've just inked it and I go on the top, then it gets really dark and really bold really quickly. Whereas what I like to do is just get rid of most of that. So just pop that out of the way while you do that, and then we'll go underneath. Just get into those spaces, and then now you can start, because you've got a lot of the ink off it, you can start doing that on the top bit, which brings some more shading around, but doesn't make it too dark and too bold too quickly. So you can just see that that goes like that. So that's just playing around with the inks. So you don't have to have Lost Lagoon. That would be my choice if I had it. But you could do a light touch with a navy, or even a dark brown like Early Espresso. You can get that kind of look, and it just gives that depth to the bird. So I've done less on this one than I've done on this one. So you can see just how different it looks by adding those extra bits and just changing those colours. And I could have put another piece under here as well to still give him his different coloured underbelly, and then you can play around with those. So lots of different things you can do, and lots of different ways you can cut up the papers to put your birds in different ways. You can go this way, of course, which is what I didn't show before, is to go horizontal, and then you have that option to use that as a little perch as well, with your little greeting strip on there. And I'd probably have that one underneath. So you can play around with what you like with the leaves, what you like the leaves on the papers, or if you like something a little bit more abstract, something a little lighter, you can play around with what works for you. So I hope that makes sense. I hope you've enjoyed that, and I will just bring the camera back. And so thank you very much. That's the kit for May. The host code for to upgrade your May kit is in the description for this video, and you can order through the link that's on the description as well. So I will see you again next week, but that's all for now. Thank you. Bye bye.